Welcome. Today's video starts on the kitchen floor, where there is a pretty annoying problem that I have. See, the people that built this kitchen, they decided to put the tile on a higher plane than the wood floor. And that's disgusting. But when I installed the wood floor, I cut this back with the plan that one day I'm gonna ramp this down. And that one day is today. What we're gonna be doing is, first we're gonna be taking out this temporary MDF board that we have here. Once we take that out, we're gonna see if we could cut the pieces that we need to make that slope. And I'm gonna show you what we're gonna use. We're gonna use this tile. It's a broken piece because we're gonna be using it as a sample, but we're gonna be building a ramp like so. But that's gonna take some work and a little trick and a special tool, a new tool which I bought. So we're gonna start with this piece. This measurement is 2.5. So when you're putting a stone in an angle, the problem that you run into is when you put it in an angle, this is going to interrupt the flush finish. So we're gonna have to cut this in a 45-degree angle to be able to have that nice ramp and have this top line butt cleanly to this line. Because if not, you're gonna have like what, 1/4 of an inch, maybe 3/8 sticking out, and we don't want a grout line so thick. We want to have a ground line like this one, which is about a 1/16 of an inch, maybe 1/8 of an inch. I got a new tool and I'm gonna see if it's gonna help us solve this problem we have, which is getting that 45-degree angle. That's a special tool. This is what's gonna help us get those 45-degree angles, and this is what you call a wet saw. I was gonna get the manual one that you cut it and then snap it, but then I'll have to get a grinder and cut that edge off. With this, we could just put it up to the max. And there you go. We got a 45-degree angle. We'll be able to just slide it through and not have to do a second step of cutting that 45-degree angle with a grinder. So let's set everything up and do a test cut. So the table in a 45-degree angle did not work out for 2 reasons. The first reason is putting it through at a 45-degree angle makes this point very sensitive, very weak. You get little tiny chips that look like teeth. and you don't want that on your finished floor. On top of that, when you're pushing it through, you see this right here? In the last 1/4 of an inch of the tile, it always snaps. so that's not gonna work. So what I'm gonna have to do is cut all of them flat, like the table is now, and then get a grinder and bevel it myself by hand. It's a lot more work, which I was trying to avoid to do, but gotta do what you gotta do. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut at a 90 degree, and then I'm gonna cut that 45 like you guys just finished seeing. And that's how I'm gonna do every single one of them to make it go smoother than having to use the grinder. The grinder's gonna make a lot of dust. I'm gonna have to be more careful. I gotta watch where my hands are. It's a dangerous tool. Although I'm not saying that the way that I'm using this wet saw is not dangerous, but it'll get the job done. We're gonna end this video right where we started. We got a lot of stuff done. We ripped up the MDF, we installed the rock board, and I think it's most important, we ironed out how we're gonna be cutting these tiles. We won't have to use the grinder. Unfortunately, we can't use the wet saw the way that I wanted to use it, but we found a good middle ground where I'm just gonna be cutting it at an angle. And you guys saw all of that. If you like what you saw and are interested in seeing the rest of this project and a whole bunch of other projects, consider subscribing. If you learned something new, you can let me know by giving me a like, and I hope to see you guys on the next project. Thanks.